I like kids.
911. Officer, right there. FBI, come on in.
Weskerbeard Part 5. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, ladies, gentle thems, cringe connoisseurs of all ages. Yes, welcome to ReddX. Trace amounts of science involved. This is the 5th part of Weskerbeard. If you've missed the previous parts, those links are in the description. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hello all. I hope you've been well. Meh. This story's gonna lean more into Weskerbeard's darker machinations. Well, we all know what that means already. Go ahead, get him against the wall. He's at the goddamn wall! I ain't got time today. We're speeding through this. So, as you can tell, this is gonna be something a bit more of an against the wall worthy story. That's what I just said. Well, that's funny. The cast mainly consists of Sapphire and Weskerbeard, but it does have a few others that were mentioned in prior stories. And I don't really remember any of their voices specifically, so we're just gonna make it do what it do. So gather one and all, as I tell you a strange tale of a rather fetid person. The only solution is to cover him in leeches, who would churn your gut like a milkmaid does to milk. The first part sounded horrible. The milkmaid thing, honestly, doesn't sound too bad. This retelling is from a time when the three of us decided to go out to a pub in the town, where Weskerbeard made my skin crawl like I had maggots writhing underneath it. And now we're back to the bad part. Very descriptive. Nice. This tale starts much like the others, in which I meet up with Sapphire and Weskerbeard at his parents' home. Nest. Surprisingly, on this visit, my interactions went well with his family, until his brother opened his stupid mouth. As I entered the house, I greeted Trotter and Hog, who dwelled in their own squalor, almost merging with their chairs. As they sat, staring at different screens, only a meter or two away from one another, they merely gave a grunt of acknowledgement. If I wanted to interact with these beings, I'd have to get closer to them. Why would you want to interact with them? No, they are occupied, they're happy, or some semblance thereof. Just go find your friend and get the hell out. I would have to get close enough that I could smell something that the smoke had covered up. Oh no. As I got closer to Trotter, the tainted air around him was foul, like someone who would rather wash their hair with piss than shampoo. Look under the desk. Do you see any bottles under the desk? Do not drink from the bottle.
I don't know. It's water.
It was almost like Trotter thought if he took a shower, he might just dissolve away down the plug hole. This is when the boss of the house, or so he thought, decided to grace the room while spewing his verbal diarrhea. I told you to get back. You're in the splash zone. I can't save you. Rage baby.
Oh, hey, Mick. What are you doing here?
OP. I'm just waiting for Weskerbeard and Sapphire to be done. We were going out for a bit. Rage baby starts trying to push my buttons, saying,
How can you be friends with Sapphire? Especially knowing she gets shagged by Weskerbeard.
I don't think that's necessarily any of my business. Well, before I could retort with the remark that he sounds jealous and is probably just getting bored of his hand with its dick-shaped rut in it, Hog spoke up and shut him down. Hog.
Rage baby! Don't be so disgusting! Talking about a woman like that!
Disgusting!
Then Trotter added to the outburst.
How many times do I have to tell you to watch your mouth?
Rage baby, looking slightly deflated, gathered his food and slunk up off to his hovel to probably argue with some kids in online forums or masturbate to something sus on the internet. Yes, one or probably both.
Both is good.
I also love how OP added, like, yeah, I totally would have responded with, We all know you were shell-shocked in the moment, but after replaying this in my head a few times, I know exactly what I would have said. It's such a human experience, isn't it? Anyways, thankfully, Weskerbeard came down not too long after Rage Baby had skulked off with his, food. We've heard about the level of cuisine at this house, haven't we? As he entered the kitchen, he gave me a flourished greeting and called me to head upstairs with him. I gave his parents a quick nod and said bye. Walking onto the stairs, I dodged around clothing and other items that were just left on the floor. It felt like I was trying to avoid explosives in a minefield. I mean, at least they're not explosives mines, you know? If you do brush against any of these clothes, you're gonna take home bedbugs and scabies, but it's not explosive. Walking past the rooms that held their inhabitants, I quickly looked in at Hermit to give him a wave as I passed, walking into his room, feeling the carpet crunch for unknown reasons. He ejaculates at the doorway to assert his dominance. Just to give you an answer for that. Greeting Mania Beard, I walked over to the other side of the room toward Weskerbeard's side as his brother followed me with his head while I walked. Not being the least bit subtle, he craned his neck to hear us talking a little bit better. Sapphire, I'm nearly ready. You look nice, Mick. OP, thanks, you're not too bad yourself, I said with a playful tone. Did you punch her in the arm, a little play punch? Mania Beard,
What are you going out in, Weskerbeard?
Weskerbeard,
My coat and this.
By this, he was referring to his old, dirty hoodie that stank to high heaven. It had holes and multiple stains, and his jean stains were trying to compete with the ones on that hoodie. I nodded because I wasn't gonna say anything. Sapphire told me that she had asked him to put something clean on, but he decided that going to a pub full of people, smelling like he was unable to wipe while looking like he couldn't eat properly was the correct attire for a public setting. I love the way you laid all that out, man. There's just not an ounce of shame. The entire time he's out, he's gonna be sitting there like, I wish I was at home on the PlayStation. So after we were all ready, we set off for the bus stop, not having to wait too long for our bus to arrive. Within a few minutes, we were seated and on our way into town. Unfortunately, this time the traffic was heavy, making the journey much longer. With Weskerbeard's wittering, he gushed on and on about Sapphire's Red Dead Redemption roleplay character, how she was so sexy in one breath, and then changed quickly to whining about how her character wasn't instantly bagging his character's brains out. Not that he had much to lose as it was, I guess. Sapphire retorted back to him, she'll go for whoever she finds the most interesting. That could even be a random stable hand. You never know. Well, it seems like this roleplay character is not of very high moral value. Come here, random stable hand. You look interesting. I'm standing here shoveling poop. Yeah, you just looked interesting. You were doing it real interesting. Weskerbeard frowned at the thought of his girlfriend's pretend character getting railed in the stables. I mean, it feels unnecessary, but also I understand her agitation at this point with him. Really, you should be like, standing by your man, but it's a two-way street, and he ain't stood by her, so good. Give him what for, I suppose. Looking over at me, he asked my thoughts on the role play. Bro, I nothing. I got nothing. We're out in public. Please don't talk to me about this, okay? So I answered him, and I talked to Sapphire also until we arrived in town, getting off near our pub of choice, Giggity. Heading over to the large wooden double doors, I pried them open and held it for Sapphire, with Weskerbeard trailing in behind her after moaning that he couldn't have a smoke yet, as we wanted to get some drinks in first. The pub was full of the normal types that you could expect in an English pub. Heading over to a few seats and getting settled in before going to the bar and getting our drinks, After the first round, Weskerbeard started to loosen up and talk more freely. And these were things that he probably should have kept to himself, like how he was getting aroused with Sapphire and just wanted to bend her over. Again, we are in public. He still had this idea in his head that we should have a threes-up. I didn't really know what to say to him about this. Well, start with no, and we'll go from there. OP says, mate, I like her, but I'm not gonna do something that she doesn't want to do. Weskerbeard laughing. Well, of course not, he said, fiddling with his hands. Mighty sus behavior there, son. Feeling uncomfortable about how he spoke about my friend, I took a large gulp of my pint and told him I needed to use the toilet, quickly getting up as I headed towards the bathrooms. As I passed Sapphire, she told me she was heading outside with Weskerbeard, so after finishing up, I set a course for the outside seating area. Are they out there behind the love dumpster? Is that what's going on right now? And Weskerbeard just such a horrible creep, he can't keep his, I'm so turned on inner monologue to himself. Something terrible's gonna happen, I almost guarantee it. Getting through the doors, I noticed that Weskerbeard was smoking while sitting next to Sapphire. Noticing me, she waved me over, trying to keep away from the smoke. I sat down next to Weskerbeard, and I was handed a drink. I thanked Sapphire and turned to Weskerbeard, who was desperately taking large drags off his cigarette like it was his only lifeline. Isn't addiction so sad?
Peter, I think we should see other people.
Okay.
So, after a while, Sapphire pardoned herself to go to the toilets and abandoned me to Weskerbeard. Come on, she needs to go in there and powder her nose, you know? Just to deal with Weskerbeard a little longer. That's my cope of choice as well, it's fine. Weskerbeard had by now drunk enough to get loose lips, and turning to me, he muttered, Weskerbeard, hey, Mick, did you know that Axel had a little brother? In case you didn't know, Axel was his Anthro Wolf character. Oh god, here we go. OP looks over at him confused. No, I didn't. I don't think you've mentioned that before, dude. I replied as I took another swig, Weskerbeard checking over his shoulder and then turning back to me. Yeah, he does. Sometimes he gets a few of Sapphire's potions. An age potion and a sex change potion. He gets them to drink them, and then he fucks them. What the hell?
Ugh, keep your fetish away from me!
I want to get off the ride now, please. Thank you. What? What? He said this to me with a shit-eating grin on his face, like he thought I would enjoy what he said. My spine is decimated. But no, I did not like it.
I don't like it!
What he told me freaking disgusted me. So unforgivable. Why are you like this? So much to unpack here. From talking to Sapphire later on, she told me that her character wouldn't have those type of potions, as she has no need for them, and his whole brother idea, it was a lie, as Alfie was just a small drawing that Sapphire drew one time and gave it that name. Weskerbeard had taken the character on as an incestual younger brother. Oh god. Without Sapphire's knowledge, but this wouldn't be the only time that he would act this way. However, Sapphire might have to fill you all in with that at a later time. And she will, like I said, we flip-flop these stories back and forth. But indeed, I can only really say I do not like this, Sam. I do not like any of this! Oh god, help me! Pull me out! The OC character roleplay, it was cringe enough for me, you know? But as always, we found new depths. I don't know how we continue to do this. Getting back to that night, however, my blood ran cold. as a chill ran down my back like I had just dove into a pile of snow completely in the nude. I couldn't get any words out as I was in shock at the sentence that had just assaulted my ears. As these may just be imaginary characters, but these were his thoughts, and they were just as fetid as his teeth. I think his thoughts have been fetid for a lot longer, dude. He's rotting from the inside out. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. So as I was recovering, Sapphire came back and took a seat near us. I wanted to tell her, but I couldn't find the time to do so that night, and I still feel guilty about it to this day. Although Sapphire says she understands that was probably a hard thing to talk about. Yes, a sentence which must never be uttered again, thank you. We headed back inside not too long afterwards. We took up some space near the jukebox system and played a few personal favorites, like Rob Zombie's Dragula. This was my choice, as the new Twisted Metal trailer featured it. God, I remember Twisted Metal, the original one, back on the PlayStation. Kinda passé these days, but it had its moment in the sun. Not too long after, Weskerbeard pushed Sapphire against the pillar that the system was attached to. He held her face and gave her a large kiss. This pissed her off because she dislikes public displays of affection. Seeing this irritated me, as if he hadn't just told me about his twisted fantasy.
Oh yeah, tell me you're my little brother.
Oh god. I shouldn't have said it. Those are not outside thoughts. The rest of the night went well, relatively. And then, as we had drunk enough for this outing, we decided to get going back to our homes. This next part isn't really long enough to fit into a story of its own, so I'll just squeeze it in here as more evidence of Weskerbeard being really sick in the head. We've got enough evidence in that pile. But what's a few pieces more, you know? What could it really hurt? Except my soul. This takes place in the same location, just on a different night. We were a few drinks in by this time, sat in the corner in the back, away from most of the people. We started talking about adult things, as close friends sometimes do when we were discussing our kinks not very long into the convo. Bro, this is all so outside my frame of reference. I've had many friends, and I don't think I've ever had this conversation with any of them except the one that I was dating. You know? Is this what RP servers do to people? Is this what happened to Hasbeenbeard? God, I got a lot of questions. Maybe I'm just an old man. Maybe I'm just a boomer. But even in my younger days, I would never talk to my friends about that. World's going to hell, bro. I'll say it again. Anyways, Sapphire had gone to get Weskerbeard and herself another drink, leaving me alone with him, as she couldn't trust him with the bank card. It really was hopeless at times. By this, I was told that if he had control, he would spend all of their money on video games. Sounds like me, honestly. I identify with that part at the very least. There's so many good games. Yet again, Weskerbeard chose this to be the best time to lean in and tell me more of his little secrets. No. At least this secret was on a different day. You had some time to recover. I guess. Small consolation. Weskerbeard says, "Hey Mick, can I ask you something?" OP, moving to lean in to hear him better and nodding. "Yeah, sure. What is it?" Weskerbeard glancing around. I like kids."
911. Officer, right there. FBI, come on in.
Oh my god. You mean like... Oh god. I don't... He chuckled as his breath hit my nose, smelling like he had just eaten old carrion. OP snapping at him as people were nearby, but thankfully not close enough to hear him. "What the fuck do you mean by that?" I said with a growl behind my words. Weskerbeard, noticing my tone, panicked. I mean like 17-year-olds, you know? "Get against the wall! Boots! Boots! Now!"
I have my Jewish space laser pointed right at you.
Is he on a list? Can we put him on a list? Let's make sure he's on a list, all right?
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list.
Even though I had a few drinks in me, I wasn't drunk enough to let this comment slide. This time, when he stalked off to the toilets, I informed Sapphire of what he had said when she came back. She couldn't hear me properly over the music playing, and she had developed a small ear infection that dampened her hearing. I chose to tell her when we went outside and there wasn't as much noise. Unfortunately, Weskerbeard came back, and for some unknown reason, he was glued to her hip all night, making it hard to let her know. But I did manage to do so while we were out of earshot from Weskerbeard, to which Sapphire looked in total shock. What sort of response did he expect, honestly? Like we're gonna high five about the fact that we're mental degenerates who need to be executed? No, dude, I'm not on that boat. I was informed that later on, when we parted ways, she had given him both barrels, as he rightfully deserved. Oh, so he's dead now? That's great. That's the happiest ending I could think of. Oh, he's not dead. There's another part. Okay. Well, that's it for this part. I hope I gave you enough anger-inducing tale of cringe that might get him against the wall. With that said, keep well, stay safe, your OP, Mick. I think we have more than enough evidence. We don't even need evidence, honestly. I'm judge, jury, and often executioner. I mean, I do have some help for the executions. One bullet usually isn't enough. He knew your response and tried to block you. He's just terrible, dude. I had like the tiniest bit of sympathy because of his living conditions and how he was raised and stuff like that. But now that's all out the window. We need to put this one down. There's no sense in keeping him alive, okay? Jesus Christ. I don't know how much worse it could get, but I guess we'll find out as we descend into the other side of part 5 from Sapphire right now. Living with Weskerbeard, part 5. Again? No, the first one was just Weskerbeard. This is Living with Weskerbeard. Totally different. It's the spin-off we never knew we needed. Hello again, everyone. I bring you another installment of my Living with Weskerbeard tales. There's a few new pop-up characters, but they aren't really a major part of the story. I'll mention them as and when they turn up. Easy enough. So last time I had managed to get Weskerbeard to tidy most of his room and the cupboard under the stairs. Oh, that's where the pants were. Remember? Remember the communal cum pants? I'm sorry I had to remind you.
Oh no.
I can never forget, so neither can you. OP continues, it was nice to sit on the uncomfortable bed and look across the room at the work that we had done. I turned and watched Weskerbeard as he rapidly jabbed buttons on his PlayStation controller. I again aimed to spark up a conversation with him as he stared at the screen. OP, hey, this looks kinda interesting. What is it? Weskerbeard stared at the screen, not answering me. I waited a little before asking again. OP, a little louder. Weskerbeard! Weskerbeard, oh yeah. What is it, babe? OP, I was wondering what you were playing. It looked kinda interesting with the Greek mythology stuff going on in it. Weskerbeard, it's God of War 3, he said, trailing off as a quick time event took his attention away. So much effort to get just that out of him. He's like, hey, can you go stand in the corner until I need to come and just don't say anything? Why did you invite this woman to live with you? You obviously have no investment in her as a person. I guess I can't even be surprised. So I just sat there and watched as he fought with gorgons and minotaurs, and the game did catch my interest. I love mythological stories and all the beasties therein. Weskerbeard excitedly, the Medusas don't wear any tops. They come at you with their boobs out and they freeze you. Come to think of it, you might not like this game. There's a lot of boobs in it, babe. Yeah, that's really what gets under my skin. Not the fact that the partner I've chosen can't interface with me in any human capacity, but there's boobs in this video game. Jesus Christ. OP says, well, they are in ancient Greece where it's warm, and in mythology they're usually depicted without, so the lack of tops isn't that much of a bother to me. Ooh, Medusas don't wear bras, bro? You got like them orangutan titties? Snakes in your hair, snakes on your chest. Miss me with that. Weskerbeard said, I didn't think you liked that sort of thing. OP? I said I didn't like unnecessary nudity and or sex in things. Before Weskerbeard could continue, the door to his room opened. Without a knock, in walked Judgybeard, holding his own PlayStation 3 game. Judgybeard, this isn't a bad time, is it? Weskerbeard, nah, I was just telling OP about God of War 3, wasn't I, babe? Yes, we were just getting into the conversation about whether Medusa's pubic hair is snakes or not. Oh my god, there's thunder outside. Oh my god! Typhoon season, welcome to the Philippines! Now readers, you might be thinking that I am exaggerating with the amount of times he says babe to me in these stories, but I really am not. Weskerbeard was like a discount Duke Nukem from Wish. He called me it to the point that I was concerned that I might one day turn into a pig.
He's some pig.
Anyway, I digress. Judgybeard, I was just wondering if you wanted to play Dark Souls now, but if you're playing that, I could leave it for now. Weskerbeard, nah, I'll play it now. I just saved my game. Yeah, we really making the hardest choices in this life, ain't we? I scooted further toward the foot end of the bed as Judgybeard sat down and made himself comfortable between us. I grabbed my laptop and started browsing and talking on Facebook. I mean, that makes good sense. Obviously, they're not interested in interacting, so fine. I'll go be in my own little electronic world and see how you like it. Weskerbeard's like, yeah, it's pretty good, actually. Again, the bedroom door opened and in crawled Maniabeard. He looked over at the three of us, scowling as he pulled himself onto his bed. He turned on his TV and, almost as if he were competing, turned up the volume. Weskerbeard, turn that down, I can't hear my game. Maniabeard,
I can't hear my show.
Weskerbeard, turn it down. Maniabeard, Maniabeard,
I'll turn mine down when you turn yours down.
Judgybeard, you two don't need to argue. Weskerbeard, yours is a little loud. Maybe turn it down a little bit. I'm sure when you do, Maniabeard will turn his down. And then he gets cut off. Again, the door opened. This time it slammed against the wall near the foot of Maniabeard's bed. Rage Baby stood seething in the doorway. Rage Baby,
Maniabeard, turn that TV down. I can hear it in my room.
Maniabeard whining,
I can't hear it over Weskerbeard's TV.
Weskerbeard to Maniabeard, I can't hear my game over your stupid TV. You're the one who came up here and started being loud. Rage Baby,
both of you, turn the fucking things down or I'll smash them myself.
Just another relaxing day in the Weskerbeard household, is it not? Weskerbeard, while glaring at Rage Baby, reluctantly did turn his TV down. I looked over the top of my laptop screen, catching Maniabeard smirking like he had won something. The smirk soon disappeared as Rage Baby took a step closer to the foot of his bed. Rage Baby,
well, are you going to turn it down?
Hog shouting from downstairs,
what's all the banging and shouting about?
Rage Baby shouts back,
these two won't turn their TVs down.
Weskerbeard whining while also shouting,
I have turned mine down. It's Maniabeard who won't turn his down.
Maniabeard,
I can't hear my show. Weskerbeard's game is too loud.
Weskerbeard, I already turned it down. Hog shouting again, still downstairs,
Maniabeard! Weskerbeard, turn your TVs down! Rage Baby, get out of their room! And stop the banging and shouting!
Rage Baby stood in the doorway as Maniabeard finally jabbed the volume down button on his controller. Once he was satisfied, he turned, walked out of the room, and slammed the door shut behind him. It's great. Home is just supposed to be a place you can relax and unwind. I feel really relaxed right now. Neckbeard sat sulking on his bed, glaring at Weskerbeard and Judgybeard whenever they talked about the game, as Judgybeard would tell Weskerbeard what was coming up next in the game. Weskerbeard's idea of playing Dark Souls was to unalive the minor enemies, reach a challenging part, get his behind handed to him, and then Weskerbeard handing over the controller.
You're better at this sort of thing than I am.
Wow, this is a keystone moment, isn't it? His ego was beaten out by his own laziness. Fascinating. Write that one down. Trace amounts of science in this episode. Judgybeard looked at the controller and, interlocking his fingers, cracked his knuckles before giving them all a wiggle like a crappy imitation of Jack Sparrow.
Good. I can go like this.
He seemed to do this when he played his games. It was like a strange little pre-game ritual he had, and once this ritual was complete, he took control of the character that he had made for Weskerbeard. There's really some older brother, younger brother stuff going on, isn't it? After the hard part, or boss, had been dealt with, the controller was handed back, and Weskerbeard continued playing until the next difficult part. Rinse and repeat. Dark Souls wasn't really my cup of tea at that time, so I just carried on chatting on the Facebook. At the time, I had a lot of furry friends. I was introduced to furries when I was in high school. I found them unusual, but interesting, and some were really nice to chat with, and online chatting helped me to build some confidence. It was just nice to talk to someone in general about things other than gaming and movies. These will be referred to at a later date. Yeah, the gaming and movies thing, that doesn't seem like it ever stops. Or you mean the furries? I'm hesitant to go down that road, but I guess you're driving the train. After a while, Judgybeard left the room, and Weskerbeard went back to God of War 3. Bored, I decided I was going to bed. The next morning, I woke up and, avoiding Satan's bathroom, went to use the toilet downstairs. The door was open, so I carried on down towards it, but I stopped dead on the 4th step. Not to digress, but to give you an idea of how small this room was, the room was apparently 2, maybe 3 feet wide and about 6 feet long. Only the toilet and a small basin sat in there. I'm pretty sure that was a broom closet at one point. How do their great big fat parents fit into the bathroom? Don't tell me, actually. I don't want to know.
Well, you see, we actually got a cooler in the backyard and you go just sit on top of it and then dump it out.
No! I told you I didn't want to know. So, back to where I was. Frozen on the 4th step. I tried backing away slowly, but just like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, my movements caught her attention. Hog walked out of that small room completely naked. Oh, God. It is her house, but also most unfortunate. Her large, drooping stomach hanging low, not low enough, though, as a wispy nest of gray, matted hair poked out from under it. Oh, man. I was at a complete loss for words. She made no attempt to cover anything. She just stood in the doorway, looking at me on the stairs, her nose scrunched up, which pulled up her top lip. Hog.
I thought I heard someone out here.
OP scrambling for words. Sorry. I thought the toilet was empty. I saw the door was open. I kept trying to look in any and all directions as she held her weight against the door frame. Oh, don't do that. The house is gonna collapse. Hog coming out into the hallway more.
I'll be done soon. I'm just having a strip wash. Is someone in the bathroom?
OP. No. I'll just, I said, backing up a few more steps. She said all that like it's completely normal. I mean, I guess it is normal for her. She's been doing it for years. But where is the shower or bath in this house?
Well, see, we got a cooler in the back.
It's not the same one you poop in, is it?
It might be.
Okay then. As I walked off upstairs, I turned around, hearing a noise. I wish I hadn't, as what I saw was Hog's behind, her almost gray-colored skin wiggling with every shuffling step she took into the kitchen. I'm pretty sure this is gonna burn your eyes out. You need to turn away right now, OP. Hog.
Trotter! Come scrub my back! I can't reach!
Trotter from somewhere in the living room.
Give me a minute.
I, mortified and defeated, retreated to the bathroom upstairs, avoiding sitting on the seat as best I could. Little of the old hoverhiney. As far as Hog goes, hey, Mama Legbeard, I got a tip for you, alright?
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
So, later that day, around afternoon time, the house emptied of most of its residents. It was pay slip day for half of the residents. Weskerbeard was feeling amorous, and he used the fact that the others had gone out to his advantage. Oh god, this is... oh, please, let's not. I said if he cleaned his, equipment before use, then I would be willing. So at the idea of getting something out of cleaning, he did. Yeah, kind of, probably. As he was doing his thing, the door to his room, without a knock, opened. I was quick enough to not be seen, but Weskerbeard was caught, member in hand. Lodger's friend Weedy backed out, apologizing as he closed the door. Mood completely dead and red in the face, I told Weskerbeard to just leave it. Weskerbeard,
but babe, no one's in.
OP, I am not continuing when people just barge in here. Weskerbeard, in a huff, got his stuff together before going out and seeing what it was that Weedy had wanted. Little tongue twister there. He had wanted to borrow a PlayStation 3 game, and he had gotten more than he bargained for. I mean, he didn't knock. What do you want? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? Weskerbeard skulked off out of the room again, his footsteps disappearing downstairs. After a few minutes, he came back up and handed me a letter. The letter was from the job center. They had found me a place of work at a charity shop not very far from where I lived. Weskerbeard,
what's that?
OP happily says, the job center found me a placement. Weskerbeard,
you got a job?
OP, yeah, it's at X Shop, an NP shopping center. X Shop, hey, that's a great shop. I hear they also have a mobile branch over on Teespring. Oh, so many designs, check it out. Did you bang a leg beard, bro? Organisms all night long, the classic beard on the inside that counts. Take your pick, help me out, I appreciate ya. Weskerbeard says,
I once had a job at NP shopping center.
I was a little surprised by this statement because he had never mentioned it before. I looked at him and asked, OP, you did? Which shop? Weskerbeard,
Home Bargains. I only worked there for a day.
Sounds about right. OP, a day? Weskerbeard,
yeah, I quit because they wanted me to turn cans so the brand name was facing outwards.
He said this while imitating himself quarter turning an imaginary can, as if to give me a visual demonstration about what it was that he was asked to do. Bro, that sounds like do nothing work. Paycheck's a paycheck, right? I'll turn the hell out of them cans. OP says, yeah, but that's really easy. Weskerbeard,
it was boring. I could be home playing games, but they wanted me to do that? No thanks.
Do you understand the point and purpose of work, Weskerbeard? Clearly not. OP says, well, I start next week for a couple of weeks. Hopefully I might get something out of it at the end of all this. Weskerbeard,
I wouldn't bother, but if you want to, I can't stop you, babe.
Yeah, so you can spend all your money on buying him cigarettes. The week rolled on. Fairly uneventfully, as was the norm. Hog tried to tell me that I was allowed to help myself to food from the cupboard or drinks from the fridge, but if I attempted to, Rage Baby
would accuse me of stealing.
So I never did, and I would often ask Weskerbeard to fetch me something if possible. But even if Weskerbeard was caught, that was stealing too. I mean, does Rage Baby provide finances for the groceries? Who's paying the rent in all this mess? I'd like to know more about how the household operates, but I'm also kind of terrified of the answers. I eventually started my placement at the charity shop, doing some work experience. On Weskerbeard's paydays, he would come to NP Shopping Center and visit the Granger Games that was in there before haunting near the shop that I worked in. Well, hey, at the very least, he chose you over God of War 3, so call that a victory. One day, Weskerbeard came in. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole, then and there. As Weskerbeard walked, I noticed his toes. They were poking out the bottom of his shoes. I looked at him as he wandered around the shop. OP, Weskerbeard, what are you doing? Weskerbeard,
just looking at these old PlayStation 1 and 2 games that you have out on the shelf.
OP, quietly, why don't you go and look in the shoe section? They have some nice cheap ones over there. Weskerbeard,
I don't need shoes. You probably don't have any in my size either, babe.
OP, yours are literally falling to bits. I saw your feet as you walked in. I'm sure there are some in your size.
Nah, babe, video games more important.
He didn't say that, but he demonstrated it with his actions. Weskerbeard grumbled, putting down the PlayStation 1 Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. It's way more important than shoes. And with this, Weskerbeard mooched over to the shoes. Lo and behold, like I had said, he found a nice, neat set of shoes in his size. He bought them and put them on. OP, do they fit okay? Weskerbeard,
yeah, they fit great. Thanks, babe.
OP, great. Now you can bin your old ones. Weskerbeard,
what?
OP, putting out other items. There's a bin out there that you can put those old shoes in. Weskerbeard,
oh, okay. If I have to.
OP, they're knackered. Just get rid of them. Weskerbeard reluctantly did so. He lurked a little while longer before heading off home for the day. It is hard to get rid of old shoes, isn't it? There's memories in there. Maybe Weskerbeard is far more sentimental than we ever thought. Anyways, OP says she preferred to work upstairs in the storage room away from the people on the shop floor. Honestly, probably my choice too, but that ain't gonna get you hired. It was nice and quiet, and another benefit was because I was sorting out the bags, I was allowed to set items of interest aside to buy for myself before it got to the floor. That's bad business practice. All the good pickings are already gone to the employees. Eventually, after a few weeks, my time there was drawing to an end, and Weskerbeard reminded me of that fact. I told him that I was planning on staying on if they'd let me, and they did. Hey, congrats.
Gainful employment.
Weskerbeard seemed shocked that I would ask to stay on. It didn't seem to compute with him that I was happy to work there. Weskerbeard,
you don't need to go in now, though.
OP, I know, but I want to. I like working in the storeroom. I was cut off as the door opened, and in walked Anime Boy. He came in and sat himself on Weskerbeard's bed. Weskerbeard,
hey, Anime Boy. I didn't know you was coming today.
Anime Boy,
we talked about it the other day.
Weskerbeard,
oh, I remember now. Yeah, I said you could stay over if you wanted to do some videos. The computer room's been tidied up.
Thanks to a genie, I guess. It came up to tea time, and although Anime Boy had been a regular at the house, and they knew he was there, they left him without a meal. I know they weren't obligated to feed a guest to the house, but this is a semi-important note for later. I mean, he ain't really missing out on that much. The meals that have been described so far, just sad. So they sat and watched some Let's Play videos, some more Bleach and other random stuff until later into the night when Anime Boy mentioned that he was feeling hungry. Weskerbeard,
the takeout's still open if you want to go there.
Anime Boy,
yeah, I might do since I haven't eaten dinner.
Weskerbeard with a stupid laugh.
I'll walk up there with you. Never know. When we get back, Saf might have a three-way with us.
I don't have any words. What and what the fuck are the only things that come to mind? What a non sequitur! I glared at him, snapping, I don't think so. Weskerbeard,
Okay, babe, calm down. I was just joking. Unless.
OP says, you had better be joking. Weskerbeard,
I totally was. I'm going to Milo's pizza shop with Anime Boy. I won't be too long.
how is this not the point where we exit the relationship completely? It's not even the first time he brought it up. I guess it was shocking this time because of the way that it was brought up. OP, still annoyed by what he said, fine, I'm going on my laptop. Do you mind if I use that memory stick I found while we were tidying up the other day? Joking or not, Weskerbeard was not gonna get that threes up that he had mentioned. I had no interest in that, especially with Anime Boy. He, 1, at the time had a girlfriend, and 2, bragged about going out with multiple girls he'd been with before. Yeah, he was a real catch, that one. I mean, you can lie about whatever you want to lie about, but it doesn't make you look cool. Weskerbeard heading out.
No, you can use the memory stick. There's nothing on it.
I loaded up the laptop and stuck in the stick to check it out. There were things on it. Adult things. As Mick mentioned in his second story, one of the pictures was Gwen from Ben 10 looking barely legal, if at all.
Ugh, he goes against the wall now.
I removed the stick and waited. Weskerbeard eventually coming back in.
Hey, babe. What's up?
OP holding up the stick. What the hell is this crap? Weskerbeard.
A memory stick?
OP. Why the hell do you have Gwen on it? Weskerbeard.
Oh, that. It's an old picture. And it's not like she's a kid in the picture.
Dude, what? OP says delete it. Weskerbeard.
But...
OP. Now. All of the pictures. Weskerbeard.
But babe, some pictures I won't be able to find again.
OP. It goes, or I go. I don't know where to, but I will go. So Weskerbeard took that memory stick and put it into the already loaded PlayStation 3, and I watched as he removed everything from it. Anime Boy.
He must really like you. Some of them pictures were rare.
OP. I don't care. Rare online images. How does that work? You find some ultra rare pee-pee poo-poo pepes? Those ones are ultra valuable. I keep them on a memory stick that can only be opened with a retina scan and a thumbprint at the same time. Precious pee-pee poo-poo pepes. Weskerbeard then removes the memory stick and says,
Okay, they're gone.
I took the stick from him and formatted it on my laptop for good measure. I put the stick to better use. I kept my stories I wrote on it until I got one with more room. I'm no top-selling author, but I like to write. It's a nice little escape for me. Oh, that memory stick definitely loves its new life, I'm gonna tell you that. Now, remember when I mentioned that Anime Boy didn't get offered anything at tea time? Not long after he sat down to eat his pizza, Weskerbeard helped himself to a slice. The smell also drew in Rage Baby. He walked into the room. Rage Baby.
If you don't eat all that, let me know.
Anime Boy.
I probably will eat it. I was telling Weskerbeard that I haven't eaten all day.
Rage Baby skulked off like the overweight vulture that he was, disappointed that Anime Boy wasn't going to be giving him any of his food. Well, at least he didn't throw a fit about it this time, I guess. Weskerbeard and Anime Boy eventually disappeared to do their videos. What are these videos? How terrible are they? I think something very sinister when you say that. Because remember, they're ninja assassins. They're probably doing a red room on the dark web or something like that. OP's upstairs, none the wiser. I stayed upstairs typing away until I ran out of ideas. I decided, as it was getting late, I would go to bed. I woke up later on as Weskerbeard and Anime Boy came back into the room. Weskerbeard lay down in front of me, and I looked over as Anime Boy lay at the foot of the bed, his feet near Weskerbeard's head. OP, what are you doing? Weskerbeard,
going to bed. Anime Boy usually sleeps up here.
OP, there's no room. Why didn't you sort him somewhere to sleep? Anime boy pulling the blanket over himself.
I'm okay like this.
You're not okay.
I'll just sleep at the foot of your bed like a trusty hound dog.
This was a single bed. To say it was cramped with 3 people in it was an understatement. I was too tired to argue with them over sleeping arrangements. I rolled onto my side, pushed against a wall, and went to sleep again, very uncomfortably. By the time I woke up in the morning, Anime Boy had already left the house. Well, I think we'll leave it there for now. Gotta save some of that cringe for another day, and after living in the nest for around 2 years, I definitely have some stored away for another day. Bye for now, and I hope to see you in part 6 when I get around to it. Gosh, we're almost caught up with the Weskerbeard stories. I don't know if it ends at part 6 or what's going on, but I'm eager to see what happens. I probably do need to get some other Neckbeard sagas rolling, but I've just been having such a good time with all of these variety entertainment things. TikToks and the button and whatever else have you. And it really does feel good that a large portion of people are willing to support that sort of content as well. So thank you very much if you've watched any or all of those. Please like, comment, and or subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Check out my links in the description. There are many. Twitter, Discord, TikTok, whatever else. I'd also like to thank my YouTube members, my Patreon patrons. It's been a minute since I thanked them. I've been hustling on a bunch of different stuff. But with the rollout of the next Beard School video, I promise you that it will happen. So thank you for your patience. If you'd like to support alongside them, you can definitely do that. Or click the thanks button at the bottom of the video for like a one-time thanks sort of thing. One of your dollars, honestly, is like 3-4 of mine. So extrapolate that as you will. It's hard living out here in the Philippines, I'll tell you that. Anyways, friends, I hope you'll join us in the next one. Keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, and of course, always remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.